How y'all doing today? We're giving out free information about Earth.
About what?
About Earth. About the world we live in. We just asked you to go on the website and do some reading, and you can decide for yourself what you believe.
Is it flat?
We know it's flat. So if I pour water in a glass, the surface of the water in that glass is flat. And the same in a bathtub, a pond or a lake or the ocean. If the Earth is 70% water and the surface is flat and level, how can it be a ball? 70% of something can't be flat and a ball.
Why is it perceiving to be round?
Well, that's a good question. You Christian?
And then when I stand at the beach and I look and I see it going over.
Right. So that's called.
Like it's over my head.
Right. You see things disappear from the bottom up, and people say you can see boats go over the horizon.
No. What I'm saying is when I stand on the beach, the water is over my head. I gotta look up, and the water is over my head.
Right. It's called angular resolution. Things disappear from the bottom up, and it rises to the horizon rises to the height of the observer.
Yeah, if I stand on the beach and I look out into the ocean, it's over my head.
Yeah, or if you look out, it's eye level, right? Pretty much.
No, it's over my head.
You must be standing in a weird spot.
I ain't saying no weird spot. I'll show you a weird spot.
You can set your stuff down right here if you want.
You don't quite understand what I'm trying to say.
All right.
But you think Earth is flat?
Well, I know it is.
Well, the biblical they talk about corners, right?
Right. And it also says in Isaiah 40:22 that God looked down upon the circle of the earth, not the sphere, the globe. He looked upon the circle. Kind of like this map.
Well, see, if you can just kind of visual, this guy is down on the bottom.
Yeah. Can you click on it and make it bigger? There you go.
Is this big? You want a flyer?
You know what I mean?
Read about it.
The water's over his head.
Right. It's from the angle which the picture was taken, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you go down level with him, then the water's no longer over his head.
So in other words, where you from? You mind me asking?
I'm from here in Lexington, but I'm a former pilot and I've flown all over the world.
Okay, well, I was at Holder Beach, North Carolina.
Okay.
During the disaster, so I was on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked, it appears that the water is over my head. And I was trying to figure out why don't it just come on over?
Right. So
but then I see it goes back out.
So what I would say to that is, if the Earth was curved and going like this, that it should never be over your head, that it should go below your field of vision. But so the Earth is curved in that direction, but see, it's flat. It's in between both. It's called angular resolution.
He was quoting me something that God said or Jesus said.
In Isaiah 40:22, it says, "And God looked down upon the circle of the earth."
Look down, okay.
There's over 200 verses in the Bible that talks about the Earth being flat. It says the Earth is unmovable. It'll tell you that the waters of the heavens and the waters of the earth are separated by the firmament, and the stars are in the firmament. So it's not out in space; it's in, like this. If you open up a can of soda, what happens to the air inside the soda? It escapes, right? It escapes to fill the void around it. So if we have gas pressure and space is a vacuum, there has to be a barrier, because the second law of thermodynamics says.
So we up high, we looking down, we gonna see it's flat.
Right, and they say they go to space and take pictures, and then they send us pictures back like this. And you zoom in on it, and you can see all the clouds are copy pasted. And clouds don't form copy paste.
Meaning
they did it with a computer program. It's not an actual photo. So this is the famous Blue Marble Shop.
Yeah.
And then when you zoom in, everything's copy pasted. So it's not real. And you look at NASA's logo.
So in other words, what confuses me is this: the way the sun, the way the Earth, when they go around, it's confusing me from being round versus being flat.
Right. So it's round, kind of like a plate.
You know, we get tested in little school, elementary,
Right.
about the axis. You know, so it's kind of like throw things off.
And what did they tell you that?
When you've been told Columbus discovered America, and you got it right on your test, and then somebody tell you, "Oh, the Indians was here before," and they said, "No."
Yeah.
It kind of in your head.
Right. So if I come up, that'd be like me coming to your house and be like, "Hey, I found your backyard. I claim this." You'd be like, "Bro, I'm already here."
Right. Yeah. It's almost like I discovered you.
Yeah. I found you. You mine now.
I discovered you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna look it up, but it don't hurt. It don't hurt knowing the truth.
Right. So we're not here to convince you.
Even though the lies surround us,
Right. Yeah.
and we live in it, in a lie,
Yes.
You're right.
and we don't want to accept the truth.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. Are you a Christian?
I am.
Yeah, I also travel.
I believe in a creator
Yeah. So am I.
because this world was created for us by the creator. And meanwhile, you look at NASA's logo here. Just look at the red part. What is that? It's the tongue of a serpent in their logo.
That's not a Christian thing.
Right. So who started NASA?
I'm not sure.
Walt Disney. You know, they said, all right, we're gonna take spaceships to space, a place that's not real. Who should we recruit to head up this organization? All right, we'll go get some Nazi scientists and Walt Disney, the king of your imagination, because he's taking you. The only thing that goes to space is your imagination. So when they take off with their rockets, they go in a parabola. They don't go up. And you can follow the rockets, and they come back down. And what you see is that arc.
Yeah.
Just like in the Disney logo, Tinkerbell comes up and she does the parabola over the castle for the company that started NASA. And then they tell us that, you know, the people in Challenger died, yet 20 years later we can go out and we can find every single one of them still alive. And we got their names and where they live.
Are you serious?
Yeah, every one of them. Well, 8 of the 9. So this is what they look like today. And this is what they look like when they supposedly died.
Wait a minute. Are you serious?
Yeah. So like you said, there's a lot of truths out there.
Yeah. I mean, we live in a lie. I mean, now everything is turned. People believe a lie before they believe the truth.
They want the lies, and you know what? They told us when after they died, they told us they had identical twins. The identical twins never showed up at their funeral. Who the fuck's got an identical twin that doesn't show up at their funeral? It's bullshit. Liars. They're all liars.
It's easier to be lied to than to convince you've been lied to. Exactly.
This. You know, it's give you something to think about.
And if you look at the actual numbers, I'm going to give you 5 numbers here. You can't go explore below the Antarctic Circle. But from the treaty, the Antarctic Treaty from 1959, December 1st, 1959. 54 nations have now signed that treaty. It's never been broken. The Antarctic Circle is at what degree south latitude? 66.6, 666. How fast they say the Earth goes around the sun? 66,600 miles an hour, 666. How fast does the sun go through the Milky Way? 666,000 miles an hour. The tilt of the Earth, they tell you 23.4, but they're telling you from the y-axis. If you look at it from the x-axis, 66.6. Everything is 666. Why is that? Is it just a coincidence?
That's the marks of the devil.
If I add up all the letters in NASA, and I assign A as 26 and go all the way to Z and give it the number 1, and you add up all the letters, the numbers add up to 666. The astronaut that holds the record in space for the most amount of time in space, Peggy Whitson, how many days did she spend in space? 666. The diameter of the moon, it's 6 times 6 times 60. Everything is 666.
So what you telling me the devil is real too?
And they put the tongue of the serpent, the deceiver, right in the logo in front of you, in front of all of our faces.
Well, because
And they get
the
$60
sun
million a day. This is their 2016 statistics to keep perpetrating this lie and deceive everyone
small light that
with the
moves
logo of the deceiver in plain sight.
then
And no one
goes
questions
between
it.
the tropics, it goes between where's the tropics? So this would be
So the devil is real.
tropic of Cancer, Cord, and tropic of the river.
Same as Jesus Christ is real.
And so we look at stuff like this, it's in plain sight, and all these numbers I just told you. And what they say, the devil's greatest trick was convincing the world he didn't exist. Yet all of the evidence is right in front of us.
South of the equator, it's their summer. So right now it's south of the equator. So it's going to be colder here, and Australia is having their summertime out here. And then the sun will
amazing.
start
I'm
to
gonna have to look
spiral
into
back
that.
in.
And like I said, we're not here to convince you of anything. All we're doing was offering you the opportunity to do the research for yourself, and you decide. Because if we convince you the Earth is flat and not a globe, you're no better off than when you went to school and you filled those answers out in a test,
Think about this.
just so you would get it right.
West to east, like they said, right? Why do flight
So,
times almost
get
the
off
same
the
in both
subject for a minute.
directions?
So,
If I flew to
think
California and the Earth's spinning
they
at
through
1,000 miles an
through
hour,
this
like they say,
election
west to east,
that Trump is actually the president.
I don't really believe in elections. I believe there's a selection and everything's predetermined, and they put whoever they want to put in to control them, whoever they can control the easiest, the elite, put them in. That's why you look at the American electoral system. I mean, how much money is in there? You think that guy gets in office and doesn't owe people favors when he's been given like hundreds of millions of dollars for his campaign?
No, you got to pay.
Yeah,
We don't think there's
you got to
Like
pay
I
to play.
told them,
like basically,
I've had people tell me
okay, well,
about
the solar
President
system
Obama,
is the sky
about
clock.
gays and all.
So
Like
there's
I
no
told
way
them,
to
I
tell
said, when you're elected
scientifically whether we're moving
by the
or
people,
the sun is moving, right?
you gotta
we don't
pay.
feel movement, so
If a
to
group of
assume
gay
we're
folks
moving is
elected you,
coming
if a
from
group
nowhere.
of straight
There's
folks
no
elect you, you
So
still got to
everything in
pay.
the sky it's like
Gotta pay to play.
It's like,
lights just- the sky
but
moves,
then
but we
if
don't.
you're called by
The
God,
sky moves.
just like it looks. When you look up,
then you gotta do what God
the universe
tell
is
you to
moving,
do.
not us.
That's my belief. That's what I tell people. I said, hey, if you call by the people, which is electoral, then you got to do what they say do.
Yep.
You know, I got nothing against gays. I got nothing against straight. I got nothing against anyone. But what I'm saying is, if I put you in there,
And wherever the sun is,
I'm expecting a favor.
that is solar noon in
but
that
like I
area.
said, when God call you, then you got to do what He tell you to do.
You're
All right?
Yeah, 100%, man.
So
and see
it
the
is what it is.
and a lot of people say they believe it because the majority believes it, but what the majority believes ain't always right. We look back through history, look at
No,
look at what they
majority-
believe was right. Like,
no, the
you know,
majority-
they say
majority-
women can't vote or slavery was legal, stuff like that, and you go,
To the moon,
just because it's the majority thinks something's right doesn't make it right. You want me to show you a quick demonstration, 30 seconds, and you can go out in your yard and look at something?
oh, that's how it works. And then
So if this is the sun and this is the earth and the globe model, we live here in North America. We are right here. This is where we are. In order for it to be dark, we have to be facing away from the sun, correct? I'll look up in the sky tonight and I'll see the Big Dipper. 180 days later, so I'm looking over that direction and I see the Big Dipper. 180 days later, we're over here facing that direction for it to be dark. I look up in the sky on the 4th of July, I see the Big Dipper in that direction. How is that possible in this model? And that's something all you have to do is walk outside and observe for yourself. Something simple that people don't even think about.
so like Venus,
So you from here?
I am from here, yes.
Saturn, Jupiter, they don't.
And what we do is we travel around and we just spread truth to people. We're not going to convince you anything. We just want to give you the tools to do the research for yourself.
What would they have to gain? Because I was watching it.
What would they have to gain?
I saw that.
I learned
There you go. There's one answer.
than I did my entire time.
And then plus it's all a game for your soul in the end. If they can deceive
But
you.
I saw this.
Everything's electric.
Right.
Everything's electromagnetic.
Boom.
And I'll tell you what else I see too. I see ships disappear over the horizon, but then I take binoculars and I zoom in, and guess what? They didn't disappear. They just went beyond my field of vision. You can do this next time you go to the beach. Watch a ship go over the horizon, take out binoculars, aim it towards the ship, and guess what comes back? The ship. It didn't go over a curve. It just moved beyond our field of vision because our eyes can only perceive things above 0.2 degrees of your field of vision. Once it goes beyond that, it appears to go over a curve, but it doesn't.
of electromagnetism, right? It just is how.
So in the current accepted globe model, the Earth curves at 80 inches per mile squared, but I can go down to Lake Marion, which I've done, and I've stuck a stick in the lake on one side of the lake, and on the stick, 3 feet off the surface of the water, I put a mirror. And then I went to the other side of Lake Marion, 11 miles away, and I set my camera up, a P900, it has 83x zoom. I zoomed in, and I can see the mirror. There should be 122 feet of curvature. There should be a hump. But you and I, we've been out fishing. We look out on the lake and ponds. Is there a hump of water in the middle? Nope. It's flat. And if 70% of something is flat, it can't be a ball. And once your eyes are open, you can see. And you look back and you wonder, how was I ever deceived?
Hey, you done shook me up, man. Because I saw that. I saw him crash, man.
But you can go back and watch the video. How fast do they have to be traveling to get into space? 17,500 miles an hour, correct? Now, when they left, they never broke the sound barrier. You never hear a sonic boom. So the sound barrier is 767 miles an hour.
So they faked their death, is that what you're telling me?
So they never went that fast. So in order to get into Earth's orbit, you have to travel 17,500.
So they'll fake their death
Yeah.
for that?
For that. Why not? If somebody was going to give you, it's up to $60 million a day. You know, maybe not you, maybe a friend of yours. If they were offered $60 million a day to lie, do you think they would be like, I think I might lie a little bit, and, you know, get that $60 million a day? What's up, Super Dave? Good to see you, man.
Thank you, man. You done shook me up, but I'm going to look into that. All right, man.
I appreciate it. Good talking to you, brother.